All right, hi everybody, John Meadows here, and today I want to give you 3 real simple, real easy tips to improve your chest training. These are things that I incorporated myself over the years and I really felt was beneficial. So, short video, but without further ado, let's get to the tips. My first tip is going to be using smaller angles instead of large angles when you do your chest work. And what I mean by that, let me be more specific, is I like small declines and I like relatively small inclines for chest development. If you look at the activation that you get with a decline bench as opposed to a flat bench, research actually shows you get more activation with a decline instead of a flat bench. Now, my experience over the years tells me that a lot of these decline benches are made way too steep. I think they're an injury waiting to happen. I think they're very hard on your shoulders. I see these declines that are so steep, people almost look like they're internally rotated like this. So if you've ever done those kind of declines and you felt your shoulders didn't feel right, like they were in the right position, I agree with you. But what I'm talking about is a slight decline. Let me show you. This is what I do. I just put a plate underneath one end of the bench. That's literally it. Maybe 5 degrees difference. So when I do my dumbbell work, I'll just have that slight decline. Or if I'm going to do some, like say, Smith presses and Smith benches, I'll put the bench up like that in the Smith machine. Now, the other nice thing is a lot of people have trouble training their chest because of shoulder issues. And you'll notice when you use a slight decline, particularly with dumbbells, you don't feel any shoulder problem. You don't feel any shoulder pain. There's something about that slight decline that really takes stress here when you're in that decline and puts it on your chest better. So from a health perspective, it's really good too, but I really like the slight decline. And I want to give credit where credit's due. The first time I heard about using slight angles was from Dorian Yates. He used them, I don't know if it was 15 years ago or however long it was, but it was a long time ago. And I tried them and I thought, man, this is fantastic. So the other thing is incline. So I have an incline set up here. I'm not a big fan of the Rogue benches. They don't naturally go to a slight decline. You got to kind of rig it up like I've done here. But you'll find some companies do a real nice job with their incline benches. This is more the angle I like for incline. Now, when you get up higher than this, it tends to be a little bit more shoulder. And I think that's actually a good thing for shoulder development. Like I can tell you that I always noticed my shoulders were bigger when I was doing a lot of high incline pressing. But if you want a little bit more chest and not so much shoulder, I would bring this down. And I should also mention too, elbow path has a lot to do with how much incline, how much upper chest you're working. So if you have the wrong elbow path, you won't hit your upper pecs anyway. If you're coming out real wide like this, even if you're on an incline, you're limiting how much upper pec you're getting, as opposed to coming down with an angle that's more this way. So this angle, I don't know what that is, 25 degrees, 30 degrees, is a nice angle for chest. That decline angle is a nice angle. So that's one thing, that's one tip right there that I really like. Super simple. On your dumbbells and barbells, give that a shot. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is it's just grip. I hear a lot of people say they want to work their upper chest. I got to work my upper chest. My upper chest is weak. And some of that has to do with the angles that they're pressing at, which we just talked about. Some of it has to do with the way their elbows are positioned, but some of it actually has to do with the grip width. So what happens when you do, say, an incline press, when you use a wide grip, so let's say you get out here and you're pressing, that wide grip actually puts more stress on the sternal portion of the fibers, so all these fibers here in your chest, by going out wide. It doesn't mean your upper chest doesn't work. Doesn't mean these fibers, we call them clavicular fibers, doesn't mean they don't work. It just means you're just putting a little bit more stress on the sternal head. But if you bring your grip in a little bit, so let's say you went from here to here. So now your press looks more like this, okay? So the press looks more like this as opposed to this. The narrow grip actually gives you more upper chest activation. So I hear a lot of people talk about, I'm having a really hard time building my upper chest. What I want you to do, your simple tip, is just bring your grip in a little bit. That's all. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit more tricep, but you actually, from here to here, are going to get more engagement right here in that part of your chest than you are out here. where the tension starts to shift to the sternal head. Very simple tip. So just use the right width when you're pressing. And the last one is just make sure you incorporate movements that put a good stretch on the muscle belly. So what the researchers call this working at long muscle lengths. So we love to press. I love pressing. I love dumbbell presses. I love barbell presses. I love those, but you can't forget to really stretch the muscle, particularly near the end of the workout. I would much rather have you focus on stretching the muscle once the joint's warmed up, once the muscle's full of blood. That's when I think you get the benefit from it without the risk to joint injury. So here's like one simple example, a cambered bar push-up, right? Real simple. You've got a camber in the bar that allows you to go down a little bit deeper. So normally you would stop right here, but with the camber you can go all the way down the stretch. And cambered bars come in different sizes. Some have a bigger camber, so you can go down even deeper. Another example would be a fly. So I'm not real big on dumbbell flies, but I do like a pronated version. I'll show you real quick. Regular dumbbell flies just never felt right on my shoulders, but there is a version I'm okay with here. In fact, I've been doing them lately. It's a pronated version. So instead of flying like this, I'm actually like this. This is a good way. Pause, stretch, right here. That's a good exercise. And then think about like the machine flies, where you get into a machine and you fly. You can get a really nice stretch on those. Another thing you could do is you could stack up some 45s and do push-ups into the 45s if you don't have a cambered bar. So there's a lot of things you can do to really stretch your pecs too. I would encourage you to finish your workout with an exercise that really lengthens those muscles. And a lot of the research is showing too that lengthened muscles, or when you lengthen the muscles, it provides a little bit more of a hypertrophy stimulus. So just to wrap it up, your three things are slight angles, use the right grip width, and then on your last exercise, train at long muscle lengths, so really stretch the muscle out. 3 simple tips. I think if you incorporate those, you'll be real happy with the results. As always, I appreciate your support and I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.